A state of emergency in place in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, has been extended for another month as gang violence there brings parts of the city to a standstill. More than 15,000 people have fled their homes in just the past week. Police stations have been set on fire as the crime lord known as Barbecue warns of civil war if Prime Minister Ariel Henry does not resign. The gangs seized the opportunity to terrorise the city when Henry left for a regional summit. Okay, let's bring in Brian Concannon, who's Executive Director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. He joins us from Boston, Massachusetts. Welcome to you. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken, he's just spoken with the Haiti Prime Minister Ariel Henry by phone, and he told him that he needed to, quote, accelerate the transition to a more inclusive government. What do you think he meant by more inclusive?
That's a really good question. Haitian civil society, members of the U.S. Congress, human rights groups have been telling the U.S. government for over 2 years that they needed to allow the transition to an inclusive government that Haitians have been demanding since Prime Minister Henry was named by the United States, not by any Haitian process. It's unclear what Secretary Blinken means now, other than that he thinks that that this is withdrawing the U.S. support for Henry, because other State Department people today have said they want an inclusive government, but one that's going to accept the multinational force that Henry had requested. Now, this was requested in order to prop Henry up. That's why Haitian civil society rejected it. That's why the U.S. won't put its own troops on the ground. And that's why Canada, several CARICOM countries, and Brazil all refused to lead it. And that's also why the Kenyan courts have blocked it. But the U.S. is insisting on having that mission because they think it's an effective way of preventing a strong democratic Haitian government from emerging from this crisis. So what really needs to happen if we really want stability in Haiti is the U.S. needs to give up its current position of dictating terms of Haiti's governance and allowing Haitians to lead themselves out of this crisis.
Why is Ariel Henry still in power? Shouldn't he have left office by now?
He never should have been in office. I mean, he was appointed by President Jovenel Moïse 5 months after Moïse should have left power. He's never been confirmed by Parliament or by any Haitian proceeding. Nevertheless, his term is the longest prime minister's term since Haiti's constitution went into effect in 1987. He's there because the U.S. propped him up. Haitians have been saying he should have left years ago, and it's only because the U.S. wants him there. But now that it appears that the U.S. wants him out, that is probably a change that will not make any difference. As long as the U.S. will continue to prop up undemocratic governments, you're really not going to have prosperity or security in Haiti.
Depending on how much people have seen of the footage coming from the ground in Port-au-Prince, but the stuff I've seen is pretty terrifying. Warring gangs literally have control of certain neighbourhoods of the capital city, walking around with all kinds of weapons. And the first thing I thought was, how were they able to seize control from the police? How did it happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's terrifying today, but it was terrifying last week, last month, and last year. Haiti's The PHTK governments that have been running Haiti for 10 years have been steadily dismantling Haiti's democratic regimes. There has not been an elected official in office for over a year. Parliament has not taken a vote since 2019. Gangs took over the courthouse 2 years ago, and it was never taken back. Incidentally, these guns are not manufactured in Haiti. They almost all come from the United States illegally through the U.S. and Haitian customs that let them in. Most Haitians think that you're not going to eliminate the gang problem because to a large extent, the gang is the function of long-term inability to provide basic government services. But most Haitians think that if you have a legitimate government that is not supporting the gangs, as Minister Henry's government has been doing, you can at least start to rein the gangs in and limit their ability to to do what we're seeing on TV, to basically control the country. I mean, it's been over 6 months that the gangs have controlled over half of downtown Port-au-Prince, and they've been exercising authority and holding territory in other areas for years.
Whilst the situation there is clearly extremely bad, I was nonetheless surprised to hear Antony Blinken say that Haiti requires a global response like Gaza and Ukraine. To make the comparison with those wars seemed remarkable. What do you think the motivation was for that?
I don't know. I mean, the comparison is unfortunately more apt than Secretary Blinken would want to do, because basically the government in Haiti is there completely against the will of the people, and the United States is happy for Haitians to pay the horrible price that you're seeing on your program, as long as Haitians do not exert their autonomy in ways that might challenge the United States.
Brian, really interesting to get your perspective on this. Appreciate your time. Brian Concannon, Executive Director of the Institute for Justice and Democracy in Haiti. Thank you.
Thank you for covering Haiti.